Okay, so an interesting thing. I'm like, wait a second. It was one of those moments where I see a story and I'm like, wait a second. Hold, that wait a minute kind of thing. So, social media making the kids crazy. They're mentally ill because of the social media. Now, those of us who understand enough about genomics, enough about what's been absolutely seen in cognitive decline in the West, this would make sense. This trends correctly. That you basically have people who have mental issues, and it's actually something that is in some way congenital or something that can be spotted or detected, and that they have kids. This doesn't mean that they're stupid. Everybody wants to think that like people who are kind of mental are like dumb. That's not true. A lot of mental illness actually coincides with high intelligence populations. There's quite a number of things, like a lot of sexual deviance is actually high intelligence populations. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to know, like, there's societies that sexual deviance gets you just simply killed. Others, it gets you stardom. I don't even like thinking about that, but I have to. So, yeah. So, we are thinking of mental illness and the way that social media is working in the sense of like, oh, it's making people narcissistic. It's making people, and it's like, oh, no, no, no. It's unlocking the narcissism that was likely there. See, that's the important part. I think I'd take a longer walk today. All I did is go to the bank, and I feel like I want to get a little bit longer of a tramping about, tramping about, and so some gadabout, some gadabout town. So anyway, so this idea of, oh, it's making people more narcissistic. Like one of the oddest people who, out of anybody, who spotted exactly what was going to happen was Rush Velocity. Rush Velocity had, he actually was thinking that that women would own drones that would constantly take photos of themselves. And within only about 4 to 5 years after Rush had said this, like those drones that were so small and so well made that you could just kind of have them in your pocket, throw them, and they snap open and start flying. Now, I don't know if they work that well, but those came into existence. I mean, they were on the market. All kinds of drones were on the market. The whole thing is the battery life is the whole deal. And you do have to have some measure of understanding three-dimensional space, like and navigating three-dimensional space in that way. That's kind of its own abstract skill set. I'm only going to leave that there. So it's not. You see, social media would make this an easy thing to blame. Like you had to put a sticker on tapes, and now nobody knows who Ice Cube is, right? Because no one listened to that horrible. It's parental discretion is advised. That's a double entendre for the people who know. Yes, of course. So fuck it. Parental discretion is advised. Anyway, so no, it's that this is bad breeding. This is bad mothering. This is not forcing kids to read for long periods of time in silence. Not forcing children to stay silent and concentrate. Not in making sure kids had a way of learning physical coordination that didn't require them also learning a list of sports and game rules. All kinds of stuff. It's like we have a way that you could raise your kids to be kind of superhuman. And there's going to be people who are going to do that. They're just going to be that committed to the goal. Then there's going to be people who will let their kid just become a super weirdo. Because they want them to be them. And I understand this. I totally, very, very much understand this. So don't blame technology, because technology idles. It's not that powerful. In the long run, it's always going to be about us and how well we treat each other.